That can be a mess and quite tricky if you haven't been backing up your content somewhere, this whole time. So again, the site you move to needs to step up and make it as easy as possible to transfer over your content. Okay, number 5, percentage of payout. Finally we're talking about real money here. So what will your percent and cut be when moving to a new site? One thing that I've noticed is the 100% for a month lure that a lot of sites are using just to get creators to give them a try. Now, there's nothing wrong with this, but unless you've, already are kind of a big name online, how much money will you really make on a new site when you first sign up? It's going to take some time, to get those legs moving and to get your bearings. So you want to really be looking at the long-term percentage that you'll be taking in. OnlyFans has pretty much established 80% as the standard for how much you should earn. As I've mentioned previously, fan sites that allow adult content are treated differently by credit card processors as high risk. This means that companies like CCBill charge high percentages to process payments that scale as these companies bring in more and more money. So small companies have a hard time giving you any more than 80%. So if a company comes around offering you 90% or 100%, it is unlikely that this is sustainable long term. So you always want to make sure that the company is giving you a good percentage, for your content. But if it's an unrealistic number or it just seems too good to be true, it probably is. All right, number 6, receiving your money in a timely manner. What good is your money if it's sitting in someone else's account earning interest? So it's very important to know how often you'll be getting paid. Honestly, the faster you can get, the money, the better. You also want to know what the payout limit is. For most sites, it's around $20, but it's possible for it to be less or a little bit more. Sites pay out either every week or every 2 weeks when you hit a certain threshold. Also, don't be confused by the terms bi-weekly and bi-monthly, as they can mean either twice a week or twice a month. So make sure to get clarity on which one it is. Don't let your lack of knowledge here cost you important money you need to pay rent or bills. It's also an issue if you spread yourself out across a lot of different sites and none of them reach the payment thresholds. This can be a factor in deciding on only 1 or 2 sites to work with in total, especially if you are a small creator and are doing this mainly to pay some extra bills each month. So you definitely don't want to spread yourself out too thin because you could be on a whole bunch of different websites and never meet any of the thresholds and be waiting months for your money, and that's a problem. All right, number 7, stability of the platform. Okay, so when you're talking about stability, it can mean everything from how well the site is coded, how reliable the server is to keep the site up, as well as whether the business model will just fold in on itself one day. These are all things to keep in mind when signing up to a fan site. When it comes to reliability, most sites are now built on pretty strong servers and can take a lot of uploading and downloading. This was proved at the end of August when neither Fansly or Pocket Stars fully buckled under the pressure of both new creators signing up and new fans signing on. Coding and design are also a factor in stability, as poor coding can cause glitches and security issues. If someone decides they want to hack one of these sites or take them down for a few hours, will they be able to do so? Not everyone is a fan of the fan site industry, and there are also a lot of hackers in the world looking to get credit card and financial information. Lastly, is the business and business model secure and likely to last? Sadly, with so much money at stake, there will be a lot of unscrupulous sites that will pop up, trying to lure creators and fans in. With the glut will come the inevitable business shutdowns. There's a lot of business to go around right now, but what if things slow down? Look for the companies that are in the industry for the right reasons and not just greed and profit. Okay, number 8, chargeback protections. Nothing is more frustrating than providing a service or product to someone and then having them ask for their money back. For most creators, this process is way out of their control, and they have to rely on third parties to decide these things for them. That means that a site that has your back as a creator becomes a lot more valuable long term. Do they always side with the buyer, or do they have a system put in place that is fair to creators as well? Some sites are pledging to always pay creators or use cryptocurrency, so chargebacks are no longer something creators will need to worry about. Either way, you want to make sure you're aware of the site's chargeback policy before you end up selling content that you don't even end up getting paid for. And that's a big issue for creators overall, because you obviously are going to produce the content, especially when you're doing custom and it's out there, the person has it, and now they've charged back. So that's a big deal because you've put the effort forward, you've done what you were supposed to do, and now you have to deal with the chargeback and make nothing from it. All right, number 9, site usability in the creator's area. You'll be spending all your time on a site that you use in the creator's area, not on the front end user experience. That means that a site that has a bomb creator's area that allows quick uploads, has a good layout, and makes it easy for you to get your posts out quickly is essential. A site that devotes all of its time and energy to the front end for fans and has, a so-so creators area is going to find it hard to find content creators who will be willing to sludge through bad design and processes. Many times, this area won't become available to you until after you've signed up, as most sites load you to a universal interface first. If after your application is accepted, you jump into a creator's area that is subpar, hard to navigate or upload in, you may want to just move on or wait until the creator area is better before giving this site more of your time. Remember, this is the part of the site you'll be spending your time on. And as you build up, you'll be interacting with fans in it as well. So make sure that it's an area you want to grow with. Okay, now number 10, owner and company values. Yes, the owner of a company matters, as does the core values of that company. If someone who owns the company has been working in fan site marketing or in the adult industry for years, they are likely going to have more insight and empathy for you as a creator. If they are someone who jumped in because the market is hot to make a lot of money, but know next to nothing about the marketplace, it's going to factor into everything about the site and the company. The company also should have values that align with yours. If you aren't sure what those values are, read their About Us page or information sections of the website. If there's nothing in those areas, that could be a red flag. If you want to dig even deeper, do a few Google searches on the company name and the owner's name. If there is no internet footprint, that is something you should know as well before making a decision. Most companies worth anything will have social media history and a good amount of, posts within their social media. And they'll also have an About Us page that will allow you to learn more about the company and business you're going to work with. If their core values don't align with yours, keep hunting for a site that does. And this is very important because now there are a lot of options. So if you do encounter a company that you're not so sure about, you can go ahead and move on to the next one. All right. Finally, number 11, public image of the platform. So lastly, what is the public image of this platform? And what will it say to people about you that you use this platform. I know you might just think that all sites are the same and that people won't make assumptions, but just think about a person who uses Facebook 5 hours a day as opposed to someone who uses TikTok for the same amount of time each day. Do you see these two people in your mind? Do they seem at all like to you? I doubt it. And so when you say to someone, I am on OnlyFans, or I am on AVN Stars, or Fansly, people will make assumptions about you based on that. So just keep that in mind. When you are choosing a site, you will end up attaching your name and your brand too. Okay, so the final question here is, do you need more than one fan site? So for many creators, they will be giving other sites a chance in the coming months and deciding for themselves how many is too many to handle. As I mentioned, the most important thing is that you feel safe and secure with your business and what sites you work with. If you're the sort of person who can handle 3 or 4 different platforms at once, then great. If you are not that sort of person, then make a concerted effort to weigh all the different aspects that I've laid out here and determine which site is a good fit for your content. Either way, it never hurts to have a backup plan in case one site makes a major turn in the wrong direction again. So I would just like to also mention that you can fill out applications and sign up to a number of sites. That doesn't mean that you're going to devote your time to them. Because it can sometimes take several days or even weeks, it might be a good idea to go ahead and get yourself approved on certain sites, even if you don't plan on using them right away. As we saw this week with the glut of people applying to all of these different sites where they had thousands of applications an hour, there were definitely people who had gone ahead and signed up to some of these sites just as insurance, as I said, sinking ship insurance, and they were already on these platforms when the new people started coming in. So it never hurts. It doesn't mean you're going to have to set yourself up, full tilt on these sites, but it might be a good idea just to, fill out the application, get yourself approved, get in there, see what's going on, and then decide if it's the kind of site that you want to devote your time to. Now, I just want to mention that you can read along to this particular podcast at the SEO Bounty blog at seobounty.com/blog. And you can read along to this particular podcast at seobounty.com/123, this is the 123rd episode of the podcast, if you want to go ahead and do that. And as I mentioned, there's also now resources on Fansly on our blog as well, if you've made the switch to that particular site or just want some information on how to promote yourself on there. And I also wrote a blog about how Fansly moved to the top of the pile of all of these different sites so quickly as the creator community came together to sort of anoint it as the new king of the hill right before OnlyFans made its announcement to return to adult content. So I also wanted to go ahead and give my thoughts on everything that's happened. So instead of having a listener question, I'm just going to answer this question of what do I make of all of this and what advice do I have for creators? So as I've mentioned before on the podcast, no social media site, marketing channel, or website is your friend. They are all in it for the money. And if their money becomes endangered, they will kick you to the curb. No matter how much you like a business, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, etc., you are entirely expendable to them. Always look out for yourself. OnlyFans is still a great opportunity as a business, and you can still make money there. and on other fan sites as well.